Rain pelts a desolate dirt road in Willow Creek, Oregon, turning it to mud. A beat-up SUV sits on the shoulder, hood up, steam rising. Lisa Harper, soaked to the bone, clutches her 8-year-old son, Ethan, under a flimsy jacket. Headlights pierce the drizzle as a rusty pickup truck slows to a stop. Marcus Tate, a black mechanic in a worn flannel, steps out, toolbox in hand. Picture this: you're stranded on a nowhere road in Oregon, rain's coming down like it's got a personal grudge, and your kid's shivering in the back seat. Your car's dead, your phone's got one bar, and you're 20 miles from anything resembling help. That's me, Lisa Harper, on a Tuesday night I'll never forget. I'm a single mom, 32, pouring coffee at Millie's diner, barely keeping it together. Right then, the world felt like it was telling me to give up. But then, Marcus showed up. He's Marcus Tate, a mechanic from Willow Creek who looks like he's walked through 1,000 storms and come out steady. He doesn't say much, just gets to work, hands moving like they know the engine better than his own heartbeat. I'm a mess, rambling about how I can't pay him, how I messed up taking this shortcut. And then, out of nowhere, I say something so wild it still makes my face burn. Will you be my son's dad? The words cut sharper than the autumn wind. Marcus freezes, wrench in hand, his eyes locking with mine. Ethan's face appears in the car window, watching. I expect him to laugh, or worse, drive off. But he just looks at me, steady as the rain, and goes back to fixing the car. That moment changes everything, not just for me and Ethan, but for an entire town, and maybe for you, too. This isn't just about a broken car. It's about a man who fixes more than engines, a kid who dares to dream of a family, and a community that learns what it means to show up. Stick with me for the next 32 minutes, because what happens in Willow Creek will make you laugh, cry, and maybe rethink what it means to help a stranger. Hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the story of the man they call the Fixer, and the question that started it all. The rain slows to a drizzle on that dirt road in Willow Creek, Oregon. The SUV's hood is still up, steam curling into the chilly air. Marcus Tate kneels by the engine, his flannel shirt damp but his focus sharp. Lisa Harper stands nearby, clutching her jacket, while Ethan peeks from the back seat, nose pressed against the foggy window. That question I asked Marcus hangs in the air like a bad note at a karaoke night. Who says something like that to a guy they just met? Not me, usually. I'm Lisa Harper, 32, single mom, pouring coffee at Millie's diner in Willow Creek, Oregon, trying to keep the lights on and my kid smiling. But there I am, soaked, stranded, and spitting out words that sound like they belong in a soap opera. Let me take you back to that moment, because it's not just about a broken car. It's about a broken life, and the guy who starts fixing it without even knowing. Marcus doesn't bite. Doesn't laugh, doesn't scold me. Radiator's shot, he says, wiping his hands on a rag from his back pocket. Let it rest, then keep the heater on when you drive. His voice is low, steady, like he's fixed 100 cars on 100 roads like this. And maybe he has. Marcus Tate is the kind of guy you'd pass in Willow Creek without a second glance, tall, black, mid-30s, always in a flannel or a grease-stained jacket. But there's something about him, in the way he moves, like he carries the weight of the world but makes it look easy. Willow Creek's home, for better or worse. Golden wheat fields stretch for miles, the welcome signs faded, kids bike past the general store, and Millie's diner hums with a flickering neon open sign. It's the kind of place where everyone knows your business, sometimes before you do. I moved here 5 years ago, after Ethan's dad decided fatherhood wasn't his thing. He left us with a suitcase and a stack of bills. Since then, it's been me and Ethan against the world. He's 8, my little artist, always sketching superheroes or spaceships in that notebook he carries everywhere. Lately, his drawings are different, men with strong shoulders, standing tall, like he's trying to sketch a dad he doesn't have. It breaks my heart. That night, on that road, I think it broke me open. Ethan opens the car door, clutching his notebook, and steps out, ignoring my protest. He stares at Marcus, eyes wide. Are you like a superhero? Like Iron Man, but with tools? Marcus pauses, glancing at Ethan. A faint smile tugs at his lips, the first crack in his stoic exterior. Nah, kid. Just a guy with a wrench. But I'll take Iron Man over Batman any day. That gets a laugh out of Ethan, the kind I haven't heard in weeks. I'm still reeling from my own dumb mouth, but seeing Ethan light up feels like a lifeline. Marcus doesn't just fix the car that night. He fixes something in my kid, even if it's just for a moment. I want to say thank you, to explain, but Marcus is already packing up. You're good to go, he says, brushing his hands on his jeans. I fumble for my purse, thinking maybe a few bucks can show my gratitude, but he stops me cold. Don't. That's not why I stopped. He climbs into his truck, this old Ford that coughs like it has a cold, and drives off into the rain. No goodbye, no lecture, just, gone. Ethan and I stand there, keys in my hand, rain dripping off my nose, and I feel something I haven't in years, hope. Not the big, shiny kind you see in movies, but the small, stubborn kind that says maybe tomorrow won't be so bad. Ethan breaks the silence, his voice so quiet I almost miss it. You should have asked for his number, Mom. Out of the mouths of babes, right? I don't have an answer for him, not then. But as we drive home, the heater blasting like Marcus said, I can't shake him from my mind. Not his face, not his hands, not the way he looked at Ethan like he saw him, really saw him. That night, after tucking Ethan in, I sit at our wobbly kitchen table, the one I keep meaning to fix, and start writing. Not a thank you note, not a plan, just words. The fixer, I call him. 2 words on a scrap of paper, next to Willow Creek, red truck. I don't know it then, but those words are the start of something bigger than me, bigger than Ethan, bigger than that rainy road. Willow Creek's a small place, but it's got big stories. Marcus Tate is one of them, even if he doesn't know it yet. I have no idea who he really is, what he's been through, or why he stopped for us. All I know is that I have to find him again, not for me, but for Ethan. For the kid who saw a superhero in a stranger. And maybe, just maybe, for the part of me that's tired of fixing everything alone. What happens next isn't what I expect. Stick around, because this story's about to take you somewhere you won't forget. Rain fades to a soft patter as I drive the SUV back to Willow Creek, the heater humming like Marcus Tate told me. Ethan's curled up in the back seat, clutching his notebook, his breathing slow and steady. That crazy question I asked Marcus still burns in my chest, like I swallowed hot coffee too fast. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, not exactly known for blurting out life-altering proposals to strangers. But something about Marcus, about the way he stopped for us, cracked open a part of me I've kept locked tight. Now, with the road stretching dark ahead, I can't stop thinking about him, not just the man, but what he means. For Ethan. For me. For the life we're scraping together. Back home, our little rental house sits at the edge of Willow Creek, where the streetlights flicker and the air smells like wet pine. It's nothing fancy, peeling paint, a porch that creaks, but it's ours. I tuck Ethan into bed, his superhero drawings taped to the walls like a gallery of dreams. He stirs, eyes half open, and mumbles something that stops my heart. Dad, he whispers, not to me, but to the dark. I freeze, throat tight. Ethan's dad hasn't been in the picture since he was 3, a ghost who left us with nothing but questions. That word, Dad, feels like a knife, sharp and small. I kiss Ethan's forehead, smooth his hair, and slip out, but sleep's not coming for me tonight. In the kitchen, I sit at that wobbly table, the one I swear I'll fix someday. The clock ticks past midnight. Marcus's face keeps flashing in my mind, those steady eyes, that quiet strength. I grab a notepad, the kind I use for grocery lists, and start writing. Not a letter, not a plan, just words spilling out. The fixer, I scribble, followed by red truck, Willow Creek, Highway 12. I write about his hands, scarred and sure, about the way he looked at Ethan like he mattered. It's not poetry, just truth. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it feels like holding on to something real, something I haven't felt in years. Hope, maybe. Or something close. Across town, Marcus sits on the sagging porch of his mom's house, a single-story place with a warped screen door and a yard full of pine needles. Ruth Tate, his mom, is inside, dozing in her recliner, the TV buzzing with late-night static. Marcus sips coffee from a dented thermos, staring into the night. My question, will you be my son's dad? Echoes in his head, not as a joke, but as a weight. He shakes his head, a bitter chuckle escaping. Folks out here say the wildest things, he mutters, but the words don't laugh back. They dig deep, stirring memories he spent years burying. Marcus was 9 when his dad, Henry, walked out. No note, no goodbye, just a door slamming and a silence that never left. Ruth raised him alone, working double shifts at the lumber mill, her hands calloused but her love fierce. Marcus learned early that promises break, that fathers don't always stay. He built walls around his heart, brick by brick, and threw himself into fixing things, cars, bikes, anything with parts he could control. But my question, reckless as it was, slipped through those walls. It reminded him of a boy waiting for a dad who never showed, a boy who's still inside him, somewhere. Ruth stirs inside, her voice raspy but sharp. You're brooding again, Marcus. What's got you? He hesitates, then tells her about the woman on the road, the kid with the notebook, the question that hit like a punch. Ruth listens, her eyes narrowing. Some questions come because they're meant to, she says. You stopped for that boy. Why? Marcus shrugs, but he knows. Ethan's eyes, wide and searching, looked too much like his own at that age. He doesn't say it out loud, but Ruth sees it. She always does. Back at my place, I'm still at the table, the notepad full of scattered thoughts. Ethan's mumble, Dad, keeps circling in my head. I think about his drawings, how they've changed. Less spaceships, more men standing tall, like he's trying to fill a gap I can't. I think about Marcus, how he didn't flinch when I made a fool of myself, how he fixed our car and asked for nothing. I don't know him, not really, but I know he's different. Not a hero, not a saint, just a man who shows up. And in Willow Creek, where folks gossip more than they help, that's rare. Morning comes, gray and damp. Ethan wakes up, his hair a mess, and asks about the tool guy. I laugh, but it's forced. I don't have answers, not yet. But as I pour his cereal, I make a decision. I'm going to find Marcus Tate. Not for some fairy tale ending, but because Ethan deserves to know there are people out there who don't walk away. Because I'm tired of carrying this alone. Willow Creek's small, but it's got secrets. Marcus is one of them, and I'm about to uncover his story. What I find changes everything, not just for us, but for this whole town. Morning breaks in Willow Creek, Oregon, with a soft sun filtering through the pines, casting long shadows across the gravel roads. I'm up early, pouring coffee into a chipped mug, the kind that's been through too many dishwashers to look pretty. Ethan's at the kitchen table, sketching in his notebook, his pencil scratching out a figure in a flannel shirt holding a wrench like it's a magic wand. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, still kicking myself for that wild question I asked Marcus Tate on that rainy road. Will you be my son's dad? I mean, who does that? But Ethan's smile when Marcus joked about Iron Man, the way he fixed our car without asking for a dime, it stuck with me, like a song I can't stop humming. I don't know Marcus, not really, but I know I need to see him again. For Ethan. For the kid who sees a hero in a stranger. And maybe for me, because I'm so damn tired of doing this alone. I flipped through the Willow Creek Community Bulletin, a crumpled sheet I grabbed from Millie's diner. There's a mention of Tate's Fixes, free repairs, Fridays at the old barn on Route 12. That's got to be Marcus. I look at Ethan, his head bent over his drawing, and make up my mind. Hey, buddy, I say, keeping my voice light. Wanna go on an adventure today? His eyes light up, and he nods, clutching his notebook like it's a treasure map. We pile into the SUV, the same one Marcus saved, and head out, the road crunching under our tires. Willow Creek's quiet this early, just a few farmers' trucks and the distant hum of a tractor. The air smells like wet earth and possibility. The old barn isn't much, a weathered shed with a tin roof, surrounded by stacks of tires and rusted car parts. A hand-painted sign reads, "Tate's Fixes, free on Fridays." My heart's pounding as I park, not sure what I'm expecting. To say thanks. To apologize. To see if Marcus is as real as I remember. Ethan hops out, his sneakers kicking up dust, and I follow, smoothing my denim jacket like it'll make me braver. The garage doors open, and inside, it's a mess of tools, extension cords, and coffee cans stuffed with bolts. 3 guys are working on a dented pickup, their hands moving like they're playing an instrument. And there's Marcus, leaning over a workbench, a clipboard in one hand, his flannel sleeves rolled up to show arms scarred from years of wrenches. I clear my throat, feeling like a kid caught sneaking cookies. Hi, I say, my voice too loud in the quiet. Marcus turns, and for a second, his face is blank, like he's trying to place me. Then his eyes soften, just a fraction. "You're the rain lady," he says, not a question. I laugh, nervous. "Yeah, Lisa. This is Ethan." Ethan waves, shy but curious, his notebook tucked under his arm. "We, wanted to say thanks. For the car. And I'm sorry about what I said. It was nuts." Marcus sets the clipboard down, his expression unreadable. "Car's running?" he asks. I nod. "Good. That's enough. I should leave it there, but I don't." "We saw your flyer," I say, holding up the bulletin. "Tate's Fixes. You help people for free." He shrugs, like it's no big deal. "Folks need it. I got tools." Ethan steps forward, his voice small but bold. "Can I draw you? You look cool when you fix stuff. Like Iron Man, but quieter." One of the guys, a wiry dude named Cal, snorts from under the truck. Marcus raises an eyebrow, but there's a flicker of a smile. "Knock yourself out, kid," he says. Ethan beams and flips open his notebook, already sketching. I'm not sure what makes me push harder, maybe Ethan's grin, maybe the way Marcus doesn't brush us off. "Can we help?" I ask. I mean, we're not mechanics, but I'm good with my hands. And Ethan's quick. "We owe you." Marcus looks at me, long and steady, like he's weighing something heavier than my words. "You don't owe me," he says finally. "But if you're here, you work. No standing around." He hands me a plastic tub of spark plugs. "Sort these. Good ones in the left pile, junk in the right." I nod, a little stunned, and get to it, my fingers fumbling at first. Ethan sits cross-legged nearby, sketching Marcus, his pencil flying. The garage hums with purpose. Cal and the other guy, Javier, banter about football while wrenching on the pickup. Marcus moves between them, checking their work, his voice low but firm. I steal glances at him, noticing the way he listens more than he talks, the way his hands know exactly what to do. Ethan's quiet, too, but his eyes are bright, drinking it all in. He's like a superhero, huh? He whispers to me, pointing at his sketch, a rough outline of Marcus with a wrench raised high. I smile, but my chest aches. Ethan's searching for something I can't give him, not alone. An hour in, Marcus hands me a thermos of coffee, the kind that smells like it could strip paint. "Only thing we don't ration," he says. I take a sip and wince. Tastes like motor oil. He grunts, almost a laugh. Shop coffee. Be glad it's not eating the cup. It's the first real crack in his armor, and it feels like a win. I keep sorting, my hand steadier now, and Ethan starts asking Marcus questions, how engines work, why tools have funny names. Marcus answers, short but patient, like he's used to kids. Or maybe he just sees something in Ethan, the same thing I saw on that road. By noon, the pickup's fixed, ready for some family Marcus won't name. I'm sweaty, my fingers smudged with grease, but I feel alive, like I'm part of something bigger than my own mess. Ethan holds up his sketch, proud, and Marcus actually looks at it, nodding. Not bad, kid, he says. Keep practicing. Ethan grins like he just won the lottery. As we pack up to leave, I catch Marcus watching us, his eyes lingering on Ethan. You coming back? He asks, almost like he doesn't mean to. I nod, my voice steady. Yeah. We will. Driving home, Ethan's chatter fills the car, all about Marcus and the garage. I'm quiet, thinking about that question I asked, about the man who didn't run from it. Willow Creek small, but it's got heart, and Marcus Tate's at the center of it. I don't know where this is going, but for the first time in years, I'm not afraid to find out. Something started here, and it's bigger than a fixed car. Stick with us, because this story's just getting good. Willow Creek wakes to a crisp Saturday morning, the kind where the air bites just enough to make you feel alive. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, still buzzing from our day at Marcus Tate's garage last week. Ethan's at the kitchen table, his notebook open to a new sketch of Marcus, now with a toolbox that looks like it could fix the world. That garage, with its clatter of tools and Marcus's quiet strength, felt like a place we belonged, even for a moment. I'm not naive, I know one day of sorting spark plugs doesn't make us family, but something shifted in me. Ethan's smile is brighter, and I'm starting to believe we might not always be alone. I've been writing more lately, not just grocery lists or scribbled thoughts about the fixer. At night, when Ethan's asleep and the house is quiet, I sit at that wobbly kitchen table and let the words pour out. It's not about Marcus, not exactly, it's about what he represents. Hope in a town where folks are quick to judge but slow to help. Kindness that doesn't ask for a paycheck. I type up a piece called The Fixer of Willow Creek, pouring in everything, the rainy night, Ethan's superhero dreams, Marcus's hands moving like they could mend anything. It's raw, maybe too raw, but it feels true. On a whim, I send it to the Willow Creek Gazette, a local blog that mostly posts potluck schedules and lost pet ads. I don't expect much, just a way to say thanks, to make Marcus's work mean something. Monday morning, I'm pouring coffee at Millie's Diner when my phone buzzes. It's an email from the Gazette editor, Karen, saying my piece went live last night. I checked the site, and there it is, The Fixer of Willow Creek, with a stock photo of a wrench because I didn't give them anything else. By lunch, the post has 50 shares, then 100 by closing shift. Comments flood in, we need more like him, is this the guy on Route 12? My heart races, but there's a knot in my stomach. Marcus doesn't strike me as the type who likes a spotlight. I tell myself it's just a small blog, barely read outside Willow Creek. No big deal, right? Wrong. By Wednesday, the article's everywhere, shared on Facebook groups, tweeted by the county library, even picked up by a Portland news site. People are calling Marcus the quiet hero, leaving notes at the garage with canned goods, tools, even cash. Ethan's thrilled, showing his friends the article on my phone, saying, that's our guy. But I'm nervous. Marcus didn't ask for this, and I didn't ask him if it was okay. Friday rolls around, and I'm back at Tate's Fixes with Ethan, my palms sweaty as we walk into the garage. It's busier than last week, new faces sorting parts, a woman dropping off a box of donuts. Marcus is at the workbench, same flannel, same clipboard, but his jaw's tight, like he's holding something in. I try to play it cool. Hey, Marcus. Brought Ethan to draw again. Ethan waves, already heading for a corner with his notebook. Marcus nods, but his eyes meet mine, sharp and searching. "You wrote it," he says, not a question. I swallow hard. "Yeah. I just wanted people to know what you do. It's a good thing." He sets the clipboard down, slow, deliberate. "Didn't ask for a parade, Lisa. This," he gestures at the crowded garage, "the pile of gifts, this ain't what I do." His voice is low, but it cuts. I feel my face heat up. "I didn't mean to make it a circus," I say. "I thought it'd help. Get you support, maybe." He shakes his head. "Support comes with strings. I don't do strings." I want to argue, to explain, but Ethan's voice breaks the tension. "Marcus, look." He holds up a sketch of Marcus fixing a car, a kid, probably Ethan, standing beside him. Marcus glances at it, and for a second, his face softens. "Good work, kid," he says, but his eyes flick back to me, guarded again. I dive into sorting bolts, my hands shaking, trying to focus on the clink of metal. Ethan chats with Cal, the wiry mechanic, about engine parts, oblivious to the storm brewing between us. I steal glances at Marcus, who's wrenching on a sedan like it's the only thing keeping him grounded. He's not mad, not exactly, just closed off, like a door I didn't realize I'd slammed shut. The day drags on, and the garage feels different, heavier. New volunteers are eager, but Marcus is quieter than usual, barking orders only when he has to. I overhear Cal mutter to Javier, "He hates this hero crap. Just wants to fix cars." My stomach twists. I thought I was shining a light on something good, but maybe I've pushed Marcus into a corner he never wanted. Ethan, though, is in his element, handing out water bottles, his sketchbook filling up. He tugs my sleeve at one point, whispering, "Is Marcus mad?" I force a smile. "Nah, buddy. He's just busy." But I'm not sure I believe it. As we pack up, Marcus hands me a rag to wipe my hands. "You're good at this," he says, nodding at the sorted bolts. It's not an apology, but it's something. I take a breath. I didn't mean to mess things up. I'll tell the Gazette to pull the article. He looks at me, long and steady, like he's seeing me for the first time. "Don't," he says finally. "People talk anyway. Might as well let one of them get it right. It's not forgiveness, but it's a crack in the wall, and I'll take it." Driving home, Ethan's quiet, sensing the shift. "Did I do something wrong?" he asks, his voice small. I ruffle his hair. "No, buddy. You're perfect. But I'm not so sure about me. Willow Creek's buzzing with Marcus's name, and I've stirred something bigger than I meant to. The article's out there, spreading like wildfire, and I can't undo it. Marcus is still the fixer, but now the world's watching, and I'm not sure he's ready. Neither am I. But Ethan's sketching in the back seat, and for him, I'll keep showing up. This story's getting messy, but it's ours, and it's far from over." Willow Creek's days blur into a haze of crisp fall air and buzzing gossip. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, still reeling from the firestorm my article about Marcus Tate sparked. The fixer of Willow Creek, peace has turned our sleepy town into a hub of chatter, with folks dropping off tools and pies at Marcus's garage like he's some kind of saint. Ethan's loving it, sketching Marcus as a superhero in his notebook, but I'm uneasy. Marcus didn't sign up for this hero worship, and the tension between us lingers like smoke. He's let me keep coming to Tate's fixes, sorting parts with Ethan, but his eyes are guarded, like he's waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm starting to think I've pushed him too far. Friday morning, I'm at the garage early, my hands already smudged with grease from sorting alternators. Ethan's in the corner, drawing, his tongue poking out as he shades Marcus's flannel. The place is packed, new volunteers, a local reporter sniffing around, even a kid with a drone filming for some TikTok trend. Marcus is wrenching on a minivan, his movements sharp, like he's fighting the engine instead of fixing it. I'm about to ask if he's okay when he steps outside to his truck. He's gone a minute, then comes back, his face like stone, a crumpled piece of paper in his fist. I catch his eye, but he looks away, shoving the paper in his pocket. My stomach twists. Something's wrong. Later, when the volunteers clear out, I find him by the workbench, staring at nothing. "Marcus," I say, keeping my voice low so Ethan doesn't hear. "What's going on?" He hesitates, then pulls out the paper. It's a note, scrawled in angry black marker, "Stay out of their family, fixer." The words hit like a slap. I feel my face flush, not with embarrassment, but anger. "Who did this?" I demand. Marcus shakes his head. "Doesn't matter. Always someone." His voice is flat, but I see the hurt in his eyes, the kind that comes from old wounds. I want to hug him, to scream, but I just stand there, useless. "This is my fault," I say. "The article, the attention," he cuts me off. "You didn't write this. But it's why I don't do spotlights." Ethan runs up, oblivious, showing Marcus a new sketch. Marcus forces a smile, but it doesn't reach his eyes. I'm fuming as we drive home, Ethan chattering about his drawings. Someone in Willow Creek thinks Marcus doesn't belong with us, with me and Ethan, and it's not just words on paper, it's a threat. I want to protect him, to undo the mess I've made, but I don't know how. That night, I call my friend Sarah from the diner, spilling everything. "Lisa," she says, her voice steady, "you stirred up something good, but good doesn't come without pushback. You gotta show Marcus you're in his corner." She's right. I can't take back the article, but I can stand with him. I start planning a community repair day at the garage, a way to show Willow Creek that Marcus's work matters, that he matters. Saturday dawns gray and cold. I'm at the garage with Ethan, setting up tables for the repair day. Folks show up, farmers, teachers, even the grumpy guy from the hardware store, bringing broken cars and warm coffee. Ethan's passing out flyers he drew, proud as can be. Marcus is skeptical, his arms crossed, but he pitches in, fixing a sedan's brakes with Cal and Javier. The mood's lighter, with laughter and the clink of tools, but I keep watching Marcus, waiting for that note to resurface in his eyes. Then, just before noon, a silver Chevy pulls into the lot. An older man steps out, tall, leaning on a cane, his face weathered like old leather. Marcus freezes, his wrench slipping. "Henry," he says, barely audible. My heart skips. Henry, Marcus's dad. Henry Tate hasn't been in Willow Creek since Marcus was a kid. I've heard bits from Ruth, Marcus's mom, how Henry walked out, leaving her to raise Marcus alone. Now he's here, uninvited, his eyes locked on his son. I nudge Ethan to stay with Cal and walk over, close enough to hear but not intrude. "Heard you on the radio," Henry says, his voice rough. "That story about the boy, the mom. Thought I'd see the man I left behind." Marcus's jaw tightens. "You don't get to show up now," he says. "Not after 30 years. Henry's face crumples, but he doesn't back down. "I'm dying, Marcus. Lung cancer. Got a month, maybe 2. I don't want forgiveness. Just to see you." The air feels heavy, like it's holding its breath. Marcus looks at the ground, then at me, his eyes roll. I nod, just a little, hoping he sees I'm here. "Come to the house," he says finally, his voice thick. "Mom's there. We'll talk." Henry nods, leaning on his cane, and drives off. Marcus turns back to the minivan, but his hands shake as he picks up the wrench. I want to say something, anything, but Ethan runs over, holding up a drawing, a family, with Marcus, me, and him, standing in a field. "For you," he says. Marcus takes it, his fingers lingering on the paper. "Thanks, kid," he says, and for the first time, his voice cracks. The repair day hums along, cars fixed, neighbors laughing, but Marcus is quieter, his mind somewhere else. I help where I can, handing out tools, keeping Ethan busy. As the sun dips low, painting the wheat fields gold, I find Marcus by his truck, the note from this morning in his hand. "You okay?" I ask. He doesn't answer right away, just folds the note and tucks it away. "I stopped for you and Ethan because it was right," he says. "Not for this." He gestures at the crowd, the note, the weight of it all. "I know," I say. "But you're not alone in it anymore." He looks at me, really looks, and something shifts, like a door creaking open. Driving home, Ethan's asleep in the back seat, his drawing of us clutched tight. I think about Marcus, facing his dad, facing that note, facing a town that's both lifting him up and tearing him down. Willow Creek's changing, and so are we. Marcus is still the fixer, but he's more than that now, to Ethan, to me, to everyone who showed up today. This isn't the end of the story, not by a long shot. Something bigger's coming, and we're right in the middle of it. Stick with us, because what happens next will break your heart and put it back together. Willow Creek settles into a quiet evening, the golden light of dusk painting the wheat fields like a promise. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, still processing the whirlwind of today, Marcus Tate facing that hateful note, then his dad, Henry, showing up after decades gone. My heart's been on a roller coaster, but seeing Marcus push through, his hands steady despite the pain in his eyes, makes me believe in something bigger. Ethan's asleep in the back seat as I drive home from the garage, his notebook open to that drawing of us as a family. I glance at it, my chest tight. We're not there yet, but we're closer than I ever thought possible. Back at our little rental house, I tuck Ethan in, his superhero sketches glowing under the dim lamp. I'm at the kitchen table, that wobbly one I never fix, when there's a knock. It's Marcus, standing on my porch, his flannel swapped for a clean jacket, holding a small box and a folded note. "Didn't mean to wake you," he says, his voice low, like he's afraid to break the quiet. I shake my head, stepping aside. "You didn't. Come in." He hesitates, then steps inside, the air smelling of pine and the faint grease that clings to him. He hands Ethan's box to me, a kid-sized set of tools, shiny and new. "For the kid," he says. "Figured he's earned it." I smile, my throat tight, and unfold the note. His handwriting is blocky, careful. I don't know how to be a dad, but I'll show up every day. I look up, eyes stinging. "Marcus, you don't have to," he cuts me off, gentle but firm. "I want to. Not because you asked, but because it's right." His words land heavy, like stones settling into place. I nod, unable to speak, and set the note on the table, next to my scribbles about the fixer. We sit on the porch, the creaky boards under us, sipping coffee from mismatched mugs. Willow Creek's asleep, just crickets and the distant bark of a dog. Marcus talks, more than usual, about his mom, Ruth, who told him, "You don't fix a family, you build it." About the note, how it stung but didn't surprise him. About Henry, how their talk at Ruth's house wasn't forgiveness, but a start. I listen, my hand close to his, not touching, just there. "You're not alone anymore," I say, echoing what I told him at the garage. He looks at me, his eyes soft, and nods. "I know." Ethan wakes, padding out in pajamas, rubbing his eyes. "Marcus?" He mumbles, climbing onto my lap. Marcus hands him the tool set, and Ethan's face lights up like Christmas. "For fixing stuff?" he asks. Marcus nods. "For building stuff, too." Ethan hugs him, quick and fierce, and Marcus freezes, then rests a hand on his back. It's small, but it's everything. I catch my breath, feeling the weight of years lift, just a little. As Marcus leaves, I stand on the porch, watching his truck's taillights fade. Ethan's back in bed, clutching his new tools. I pick up Marcus's note, reading it again. He's not promising the moon, just presence, and that's more than I've ever had. Willow Creek's still here, with its gossip and grit, but something's different. We're building something, me, Ethan, Marcus, not perfect, but real. This isn't the end, not by a long shot. Stick with us, because what's coming next shows what happens when a town decides to fix more than cars. Willow Creek's morning air carries the scent of fresh-cut hay and brewing coffee as the town hums with a new energy. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, still marveling at how far we've come since that rainy night on Highway 12. Marcus Tate, the man I called the Fixer, isn't just Ethan's hero or my anchor anymore, he's Willow Creek's heartbeat. My article about him lit a spark, and now the whole town's catching fire in the best way. Ethan's at school, his backpack stuffed with sketches of Marcus, and I'm at Millie's diner, pouring coffee, when I hear folks talking. Not gossip this time, but pride. Marcus's garage, Tate's Fixes, has become a beacon, and I'm starting to see what happens when one person's kindness wakes up a whole community. Last week, Ethan's school, Willow Creek Elementary, held a Fixer Day. I stood in the gymnasium, heart pounding, as Ethan took the stage in his best button-up, clutching a microphone like it might run away. His voice wobbled at first, but then it grew strong. My mom says heroes don't always wear capes, he said, glancing at Marcus, who sat stiffly beside me, hands clasped tight. Sometimes they fix cars and make people feel safe. Marcus did that for us. Behind him, a poster showed his drawing of Marcus as a superhero, wrench raised, Ethan at his side. The room erupted in applause, kids cheering, parents wiping tears. Marcus stared at the floor, a shy smile breaking through. I squeezed his hand, feeling the calluses, the weight of everything he's carried. "You okay?" I whispered. He nodded, barely. "Not used to this," he muttered, but his eyes were bright. That day wasn't just about Marcus. It was about Willow Creek remembering what it could be. By noon, the school parking lot turned into a mini repair shop, with Marcus and his crew fixing teachers' cars for free. Kids handed out lemonade, parents brought casseroles, and even the grumpy hardware store guy showed up with a crate of bolts. Ethan darted around, passing out flyers he'd drawn, calling Marcus, the guy who fixes hearts, too. I watched, my chest swelling, as neighbors who barely nodded at each other before laughed together, their hands dirty from helping. It felt like the town was stitching itself back together, one wrench turn at a time. The impact spreading beyond Willow Creek. My article, that little blog post, got picked up by a radio station in Portland. Letters start arriving at the garage, not just from Oregon but from places like Idaho and Montana. A teacher writes about starting a repair club for kids, inspired by Marcus. A single dad says he stopped to help a stranded driver because of our story. I read them to Ethan at night, his eyes wide, like he's part of something huge. Marcus shrugs it off, saying, "Just doing my job," but I see him linger over the letters, his fingers tracing the words. At the garage, we're planning something big, Tate's Toolbox, a program to teach kids like Ethan how to fix cars and build confidence. Local businesses chip in, lumber from the mill, tools from the hardware store. I'm writing a column for the Gazette now, sharing stories of everyday kindness, because if Marcus taught me anything, it's that small acts can change everything. Willow Creek still got its flaws, but it's learning to show up, just like Marcus. This isn't the end of our story, there's trouble brewing, and we're not done yet. Stick with us, because what's next shows how far a little heart can go. Willow Creek's buzz from Fixer Day hasn't faded, but trouble's brewing. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, watching Marcus Tate's story ripple through town. My article made him a hero, but not everyone's cheering. A group of locals, hiding behind a Facebook page, posts nasty comments, calling Marcus a show-off, meddling in other folks' families. It's small-town prejudice dressed up as concern, and it stings. I find Marcus at the garage, his jaw tight, scrolling through the hate. Ignore it, I say, but he shakes his head. Can't. Not when it's loud. I convince him to speak on our local radio, KWCW. His voice is steady, raw. I fixed a car because it was right, he says. Not for fame. Not to play anybody's savior. The town listens, and by evening, the garage is packed. Neighbors bring flowers, signs saying, "We stand with Marcus." Ethan tapes up a giant drawing of the garage as Willow Creek's heart. Ruth, Marcus's mom, joins us, her proud smile saying it all. The haters fade, drowned out by love. Marcus isn't alone anymore, and neither are we. This fight's not over, but we're stronger. Stick with us for what's next. Willow Creek's twilight glows soft and warm, the wheat fields swaying like they're whispering secrets. I'm Lisa Harper, single mom, standing on the edge of town with Ethan and Marcus Tate, the man we call the Fixer. We've been through a lot, rainy nights, hateful notes, and hearts laid bare. That question I asked Marcus on Highway 12, "Will you be my son's dad?" wasn't just a slip of the tongue. It was a spark that lit up our lives and this whole town. Ethan's beside me, clutching his notebook, his latest sketch showing the three of us under a big Oregon sky. Marcus, usually so quiet, looks out at the horizon, his hands in his pockets, a rare peace in his eyes. We're not just a story anymore. We're a family, built not on promises, but on showing up. This journey started with a broken car, but it's ending with something stronger. Willow Creek's different now. Folks wave at Marcus like he's their brother, not just the guy with the wrench. Ethan's school is planning another Fixer Day, and Tate's toolbox is growing, teaching kids to fix more than engines, confidence, hope, grit. My articles for the Gazette keep coming, each one a reminder that kindness isn't flashy, just steady. But it's not just our town. Those letters from Montana, Idaho, even as far as Maine, tell us Marcus's story is spreading. A single dad helped a stranger because of it. A kid started a tool drive for her school. Small acts, big waves. That's what Marcus taught us. I look at him now, standing tall against the sunset, and think about what he's overcome. The note that tried to tear him down, the dad who broke his heart, the town that didn't always see him. He didn't fight back with anger. He fought with action, fixing what was in front of him, one car, one kid, one day at a time. Ethan tugs my sleeve, his voice soft. "Mom, is Marcus staying forever?" I smile, ruffling his hair. "As long as we need him, buddy." Marcus overhears, his lips twitching into that half-smile I've come to love. "Forever's a long time, kid," he says. "But I'm here now." Ethan grins, and it's enough. So, here's my challenge to you, wherever you're watching. Next time you see someone struggling, on a road, in a store, in your own neighborhood, don't keep driving. Stop. Help. It doesn't have to be big. Share a meal, lend a hand, listen. Marcus showed me that kindness is a choice, not a spotlight. The lesson? Start where you stand. You don't need a garage or a wrench to make a difference. A smile, a moment, a spark, that's enough to change a life, maybe even your own. Try it. See what happens. Our story's not over. Tate's toolbox is just beginning, and Willow Creek's got more heart to show. Follow us to see where this goes, hit that subscribe button, share your own story in the comments, and let's keep this fire burning. I'm Lisa, with Ethan and Marcus, and we're proof that one stop on a rainy road can lead to something real. Thanks for sticking with us. Now go out there and fix something, not because you have to, but because you can.